24th of July till the 28th of July, they have a Be Your Own MUA campaign running, which is free shipping on all of their makeup. And I've got an exclusive 15% off code for all of my amazing internet family if you spend over £25. And there's also a really cool £500 giveaway they're doing, but everything will be in the info box below. So please don't forget to check that out. But for now, if you'd like to see how to get this Instagram makeup look, plus some of my favorite products, tips and tricks, then please keep watching. So I am starting off with clean skin, and then I'm going in with the Farsali Rose Gold Elixir and the Unicorn Essence. One of them is more of a moisturizer and the other one is more of a primer, and I'm doing the whole droppy drops on my face, and then I'm just putting them on to my kind of like blending it all into my skin, if you know what I mean. So this is going to act as a moisturizer and a primer. And then I did let that sit for a few minutes before going on with foundation. And the foundation I'm using is the NYX Total Control Total Cover, giving them a good shake. And again, I'm doing that whole Instagram style, using like drops of it on my face. This is actually a really easy, I got some on my eyelash, but this is actually a really easy way of applying foundation without having to put it on the back of your hand. So yeah, I'm just blending everything out with my favorite tool of all time, and that is the Beauty Blender. This is a brand new fresh one, and that feeling of using a fresh beauty blender is just amazing. Next, I'm taking this Aqua Luminous Concealer from Becca, and I'm going and highlighting my face. You guys know how much I love highlighting rather than like concealing. And this is definitely an Instagram trend, which I learned from Instagram, but I just love doing on pretty much a day-to-day basis. So I'm putting this onto the usual areas that I want to lighten, brighten, and highlight my face. And again, I'm using the Beauty Blender to blend everything out. And I love using the pointy end for this because I can get really nice up underneath my eyes for that. And by the way, all of the products that I'm using are available on Cult Beauty, and they will all be linked in the info box below, so don't forget to check them out. But here I'm just finishing off those highlight lines, and I'm taking my Becca Sculpting it's like a cream, but I'm basically adding some of the rose gold elixir into here just to make it a little bit more creamy. And then I'm going ahead and I am contouring my face. And again, this is a very popular Instagram trend, but I love doing this. I love a good cream contour. I feel like if I want my makeup to look really seamless, I will always do a cream contour because it blends into the skin so beautifully. And this Becca cream contour, which you guys have seen me use a ton of times on my channel before, just melts into the skin so well, and it's got a really nice cool tone, which is again something that I always look for in a contour. Here I'm just taking my Beauty Blender again and the side that I used the foundation on, and I'm just helping everything blend into the skin like it's all like one product, if you know what I mean, because you don't want to see where the contour lines start and stop. Next up, we're going to move on to my liquid highlighter. This is the Iconic London Drops, and these are also available on Cult Beauty. I literally went and stocked up on so many when they first came on, so I have like 2 backups, which is pretty excessive, but I do really love this. One thing that I really like doing is using all of my cream products before all of my powder products. So here I'm just finishing off the last cream product and then taking this Beauty Bakery flour. It's actually like a setting powder, but I'm taking some of that on to the lid, and I am setting all of the areas where we applied that Becca concealer. And this is just going to set all of those areas in place so they do not budge. And it also slightly mattifies them. This is the first time that I used this setting powder, and I was really impressed. It's very lightweight, but it really does help set and mattify any areas that you put it on. And now I'm going to move on to setting the contour areas. I'm using Hoola by Benefit. And yes, Benefit is available on Cult Beauty. I was so happy when I got the email through saying, we're now stocking Benefit. I love when they stock new brands because it's one of the websites that I always go to find like new stuff and also like existing products that I love. So here I'm just adding the bronzer to my face, and then again I'm just blending all of those areas in using the foundation side of my Beauty Blender, and this is just helps for a really nice seamless finish. Here I'm taking this Charlotte Tilbury blush and I'm putting that onto the apples of my cheeks. It is super pigmented, so what I do if it is super pigmented is I go over with the Beauty Blender blender. Honestly, guys, I feel like I can do so much makeup stuff with my beauty blender. For highlight, I am taking Citrine from Jouer. Again, this is a very Instagram kind of famous product. And I'm taking that on to a fan brush. And I'm basically dusting that onto all of the areas that I applied that iconic London highlight drops. And this is just going to set those areas in place, and it's going to slightly intensify as well. Not too much, not too crazy, but just enough to give us a really beautiful glow, especially for the summertime. Like, it's so nice to be extra glowy. And I just totally forgot to contour my nose. So I'm taking my Hoola again, and I take the brush that actually comes with it, and this gives me the easiest, quickest, best nose contour of life. For my eyeshadow, I'm taking such a popular palette. It's the Modern Renaissance palette from Anastasia Beverly Hills, and yeah, Anastasia Beverly Hills is available on Cult Beauty as well. So I'm taking this shade and I'm putting that on to my brow bone, and this is going to act as a really nice, not too shimmery and not too matte highlight. And then grabbing this shade right here, I am working in the crease. So what I like doing is I love using light colors into the crease, and then I like to build them up. So this is the lightest color that we're going to use, and it's going to peek through really, really slightly, but it's also going to help all of the other crease colors that we put on blend really nicely in there. Rather than just having like a blob of dark color, this is just going to help a lot. Okay, so now taking this shade, I am basically just building up that crease. And this is what I meant about going in with the lightest shade first for your crease and then slowly building that color up, because it just makes things so much easier to blend out and you don't have to sit there for ages just blending away. One thing I do love to do is I like to take a clean, fluffy blending brush to help make sure everything is nice and blended into each other and into the rest of my skin. Now taking this beautiful orange shade, I'm working on the outer crease. I love taking like a flat side of like a makeup tube and I'm using that as a guide. So that's what I'm doing here. And the one thing that I like using about this rather than tape is that you can literally just put it aside and see whether or not you're liking the way that your makeup is looking. So I'm just working on both of the outer corners until I am happy with the level of color and the shape and the blending of it all before going in with some deeper colors. So now I'm taking this shade right here, which is a slightly warmer red tone, and I'm just popping that on to the outer corners as well. This is a very Instagram eye. It is so warm and it's so blended and smoky, and yeah, I just had to do something using this palette and doing a warm eye, because that I feel like Instagram is all about the warm eye, if you know what I mean. And I'm just making sure everything's nice and blended out, and then taking this shade, which is a really deep brown chocolatey matte shade, I'm putting that onto the outer corners as well. And this is going to be that last shade that we use to really deepen that area, and this is just going to add some really nice depth to the eye. And again, because I'm using the side of a tube, this is actually a NYX primer, but yeah, I just love the way that I can just take it out from the side of my eye and just see where I'm going and see if everything is looking nice without having to peel tape off, if you know what I mean. Here I'm just making sure that everything is nice and blended using another clean, fluffy blending brush. And then I'm just reapplying some of the eyebrow highlight, because I wanted to make sure that that was still nice and still there, if you know what I mean. Next up, I'm taking this shade again, and then I'm basically just going over my eyebrows with that, because I wanted to fill my eyebrows in just very, very slightly. I have had them microbladed, but this just was enough product to make them look nice and neat. Now taking this beautiful gold shade, I'm putting that onto the inner, I want to say inner 2/3 of my eyes, and this is just going to act as a really nice pop of shimmer. And once I am happy with the placement, I did go in with a blending brush to make sure that is blended into the outer corners really nicely and that it's not looking like a blob of colour there. Next up, taking Legendary Brows from Charlotte Tilbury, and I'm putting that through my brows. And this is going to set everything in place, and I love the wand on this. It is so tiny. It gets through every little hair. Next up, I'm taking my NYX Epic Ink liner, and I am lining my eyes. I will leave a link to my eyeliner tutorial in the info box below, and that's in depth. So please don't forget to check that out if you want to see how I do my liquid liner. But then once I was done with both of my eyeliners, I went on to mascara. Here I'm using the Fairy Drops mascara, and I'm putting just a decent layer of this onto my eyelashes, and this is just going to prep them so they have a nice base for my falsies to stick onto. Next up, we are going to work on the lower lash line. So I'm taking this beautiful dark brick red shade, and I'm first applying that to my lower lash line as a base color, because we are going to go and deepen it ever so slightly near the lash line. And to deepen it up, I'm going to be using that same dark matte brown shade, and I'm basically really kind of pushing this up against my lash line because I want it to be really kind of focused there rather than any lower. Then to blend all of those colors out, I'm taking this shade and I am just going to help blend and diffuse all of those lines out. And it doesn't matter if it does go a little bit further down, it just helps with everything look nice and blended. And to finish off the lower lash line, I am just going to apply some mascara onto my lower lashes, and this is just so that my top and bottom lashes look nice and even. I felt like there was a little bit of glitter missing, so I'm taking my Stila Diamond Dust liquid metal glitter, and I'm putting that on to the area that we applied that gold eyeshadow on to my eyelids. And this just adds a little bit of like sparkle to the eyes, because I feel like Insta glam makeup is always got that little bit of an oomph, a little bit of a glitter action going on, and I love the way that this turned out. I'm just going over my eyeliner just to make sure that there's no glitter on there, and this is just going to hide anywhere that any glitter did go on by mistake. For tight lining, I am taking my ABH watercolor. This is in the shade Jet, and it's jet black. Like, it is so dark, but I'm basically tight lining my upper waterline, and then I'm also going to be doing the same exact thing to the lower waterline. If you do want your waterline to last a lot longer, you can pack some black matte eyeshadow on top, and that's going to really set it all in place. Next up, we are moving on to lips. I'm taking my Unicorn Essence and I'm doing the Instagram thing again. I'm basically applying 2 drops of that onto my lips and then blending it all in. And this is just going to give a really nice primed and nice kind of base for our lip colors. I'm first taking the Lip Cheat by Charlotte Tilbury in the shade Pillow Talk. This is such a gorgeous neutral lip shade. You can really go to town and like overline your lips without it looking too like fake, if you know what I mean. So I did line my lips and then fill them in, and then now I'm going over the top using Huda Beauty's Venus Liquid Lip. And this wouldn't be my tutorial without me mixing at least 2 lipstick shades. So here I'm taking this Beauty Bakery shade in it's called I Like to Chai Chai, and I really like this color. I feel like this is a color that I could wear all the time, but this is like waterproof. It is budge proof. This, I'm sure you guys have seen the videos on Instagram about how waterproof they are, but I just thought I'd put this on so that everything is really nice and locked in place, and that the lip shade is just not gonna budge. Once I was done with that, I felt like my lips needed a little bit more defining on my lip line. So I'm taking this Charlotte Tilbury lip liner. I will leave the shade name in the info box below, but this is a slightly kind of brown tone so that it just kind of helps my lip line stand out a little bit. Next up, we're moving on to my lashes. So I'm using Huda Beauty lashes. And again, yes, Huda Beauty is available on Cult Beauty, which is amazing.